Welcome to Community Connections. I'm Kathy Millette. Joining us on the show today are Jami and Megan Chapman from MCCS Health Promotions. And February is Heart Healthy Month, and we're here to talk about heart health. Now, the heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States. 1 in 3 deaths is attributed to heart disease. That's huge.
Yeah, and the sad thing is it's preventable. We have a lot of things that we can do to keep ourselves healthy and to steer ourselves away from potential problems. Number 1, exercise regularly. I know you've heard this 1,000 times. 30 minutes, at least 3 times a week, more if possible, can bring about a lot of changes and help prevent heart disease as well as many other ailments.
What types of health problems are we talking about when we talk about heart disease?
Obviously, the high blood pressure and high cholesterol are risk factors for heart disease, so making sure that you're monitoring those regularly. When you're at medical, making sure you're getting those cholesterol levels drawn so you do know your numbers and you're aware of any changes.
Okay, you need to know those numbers. Correct. And what are the numbers?
Okay, a clinically normal blood pressure is 120/80, and then you want your total cholesterol less than 200.
Is there like a low and a high as far as that goes?
Right, when your total cholesterol is broken down, you have your LDL, which is your bad cholesterol, and that foods are high in saturated fat, so your fried foods, your heavy creams and sauces, your butters will raise your LDL, and then your HDL, your good cholesterol, high, so okay. 40 or greater, and those come through the good fats. So think like omega-3 fatty acids in fish, your olive oil, your almonds, your avocados, the healthy fats that protect the heart.
Okay. Yeah. And what are some of the risk factors associated with heart disease?
Well, diabetes being one, so that's another important screening that we recommend getting, having tabs on that blood sugar and making sure even pre-diabetes increases your risk of heart disease, so that's important.
Also maintaining a healthy weight. People who are obese or overweight, who tend to carry their weight in their stomach, that's the unhealthy part, is where they store the fat. If they store it around their midsection, usually leads to heart disease because then their organs are usually surrounded by that fatty tissue as well.
Okay, so if you have it in your hips, it's all right?
It's all right. It's better than around that midsection. You'd rather be a pear than an apple, is what they say.
And we have some things to demonstrate right here?
Yeah. This is actually a model of an artery. And so this yellow stuff is the waxy substance known as cholesterol. So when that builds up, it sticks to our artery walls, and then the blood obviously is harder to flow through, causing your high blood pressure, putting you at risk for the heart disease and the heart attacks and the strokes. So this is what it looks like on the inside when you do have high cholesterol.
Yep. Okay.
And so we also have some cooking tips to incorporate into your daily activities to make sure that you're getting those good fats. The first one is eating the fresh, natural ingredients whenever possible. The least processed, the better.
Right, and definitely when you have a choice, choosing low-fat or non-fat items, particularly like dairy and things like that. Luckily, again, as consumers, we have more options available to us here. So always checking your labels and knowing what you're eating and consuming.
And going out to eat is difficult, especially you order a salad, you think you're doing the right thing, but then it's you've got lots of stuff on the salad, and then you don't check the salad dressing. Sometimes you don't know what kind of salad dressing they're using, and that can be just as bad as having an unhealthy meal.
Exactly. When I'm doing my nutrition briefs, and like you said, you order a salad at a restaurant, but if it's covered in bacon bits, ranch, cheese, and croutons, you might as well just have that slice of pizza. You kind of just defeated that purpose.
So how is there a rule of thumb to know, like if you're getting a salad, you're ordering it at a restaurant, should you just order the dressing on the side and just use a little bit of it? Is there certain dressings that are normally worse than others?
Sure, and a lot of restaurants will have fat-free versions. Definitely recommend getting things on the side, staying away from those creamier things like ranch or Caesar type stuff. The more basic, the better. So vinegar and oil is a better option, and always, of course, with oil, just keeping moderate amount on the salad.
And as far as cooking with fats goes, is there a rule of thumb generally? Fats that stay solid at room temperature, stay away from those?
Right. Okay. That's a great rule of thumb. And going for the vegetable oils like olive oil and safflower oil or canola are good, but definitely staying away from shortening, Crisco, butter even.
Or, anything that stays solid.
At room temperature. That's a great point. Thank you.
And some more cooking tips?
Sure. Whenever possible, eat those lean proteins. So, maybe eliminating a lot of that red meat, maybe only eating it once a week, go meatless once a week, incorporate more egg whites. the leaner cuts of meat, so think like chicken, pork loin, and then also eating the fish whenever possible, at least twice a week. As a health professional, we drill it in people's head: omega-3 fatty acids, omega-3 fatty acids. And of course, if you don't like fish, you always have that option in the supplement at your commissary BX, getting those omega-3 fatty acids in the fish oil supplement.
Okay. Now, is it all fish, or some are better than others, right? Some fish contain more,
right?
Like salmon, I think.
Right, the fatty fishes. So,
Okay.
tilapia obviously is not a fatty fish, so opting for the salmon and the tuna is where your heart health fish is.
Okay.
And if you are going to do red meat, limiting that portion size about the size of your fist.
Okay.
So remembering that on your whole plate.
So
your
meat size should be about the size of your fist.
Yeah,
Right.
and
Or
you can
deca carb.
always substitute protein with legumes, so beans and quinoa, all kinds of different healthier options
How
for
about tofu?
protein. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Great. You guys have any other good information for us?
Maybe just choosing whole grains versus processed. That's another tip, and also great for your heart.
But definitely know your numbers. Go and get it checked out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And usually if you do end up with high blood pressure, the doctor will put you on a restricted sodium or low sodium diet.
Okay.
And why sodium plays a role in high blood pressure is sodium acts as a water magnet.
Okay.
So obviously it's going to pull that water in. The more blood volume you have, the harder your heart has to work. So watching the sodium less than 2,200 milligrams a day. So obviously if you're going to eat some ramen, there goes your whole
Ramen
day.
noodles.
Yeah, your whole day of sodium is out the window. So watching the amount of salt that you are using. Instead of using table salt, you can use Mrs. Dash or your sodium-free options.
A lot of those processed foods contain sauces.
Salt, yes.
Yeah, sauces too. You really
Yes.
have to check with that.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, soda even has like sodium.
yeah.
You wouldn't think it's not salty or
Right.
anything.
It's a
but
preservative. It keeps
Right.
Yeah.
things taste better.
And so they can contact you for more information?
You bet.
How do they get hold of you?
645-3910 or mccsokinawa.com.
Great. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.